Alright, hold on. See if it works. Holy. Jeez. Oh, we're good. Live. Hello, hello, hello. Test, test, test. Alright, there we go. Perfect. Copy, 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 copy. Telegram. Paste. Okay. I think we're good. Alright. Yeah, so that's crazy. You know, as I was driving, it just drops even more. So I'm first things I can't even talk. First things first, let me know if you guys can hear me loud and clear, and then I'll go ahead and start explaining the levels and pretty much what we're looking for as of right now for Bitcoin and stuff. So, can you guys hear me? Am I good to start? Sound good? Let me know, please. Jamie, am I good? Am I good here? Should be good. Perfect. Awesome. So I want to quickly talk about Bitcoin first, and then we'll talk about the altcoins after. Now, I talked about this in the previous stream and a few times ago, the fact that we were testing our exponential moving averages as resistance on the daily time frame. Now, you know, people make fun of it or whatnot, but this is pretty dangerous as of the current situation we're in for Bitcoin, and I'll explain why. And again, this is going back to the 2021, same cycle top, same exact play happening, but you can see that we had the first peak, 40% corrective, second leg, and now, of course, we are seeing a bearish engulfing with on our daily structure, as well as our exponential moving averages flipping to resistance. This isn't something you necessarily wanted to see from a bullish period. The bulls had the opportunity to break out right here in terms of the EMAs being used as support. We could have seen a very clean V-shaped formation, and now you guys can see why I said 107.3 is a much better position for a long versus this area right here. You can see that if we took the long position at 106.8, it would have been literally the top of the move set, and you would have been liquidated by now. And that's exactly why I was being very cautious with letting you guys know, hey guys, look for long positions on Bitcoin. Now, excluding the noise with Elon and Trump and whatever, because yes, that has a factor to it, but at the same time, I personally don't care. I don't trade news like that. I only trade the charts. And right now, the charts are telling us that Bitcoin is in a free fall state. This should not be coming as a surprise, because again, I talked about this in yesterday's stream as well, is if you look at Bitcoin right now in the 4-hour time frame, the 102 level was not going to end up holding. Even the 103 level was not going to end up holding. And the reason for that is look at all of this price action right here. You can see that we saw multiple retests at 103. That, of course, is what a momentum trade looks like, is when you have multiple retests as support. And then, of course, you end up seeing a break structure. Then you go back to the previous wicks and you would assume that, hey, this level has also been tested multiple times. What happens then? It continues to break. That's why you don't want to catch a falling knife. You do not want to be looking for long positions in the current state, because Bitcoin can easily continue falling right back down. And if you look at a comparison from support right now, the next support level on Bitcoin is going to be at 100K, which of course is a weekly support level. Break structure of that, and we can easily head back down into 98K Bitcoin. What does that mean for altcoins? Well, simply put, as we're talking, by the way, and you can see it free falling right now. So as I said it, like we're literally seeing Bitcoin in this free fall state. So I would simply just be looking for shorting opportunities. And maybe I can show you guys an example of this. Look at Bitcoin right now at 108. Okay, everyone pay attention. 108K, but look what happens here. 1, 2, and now the third test opportunity. This is what momentum trading looks like. Are we going to see Bitcoin collapse here because it's already been tested? And that's the dangerous part of catching a falling knife, is because of the fact that when the previous wicks have already been tested and you enter a long position, you're trading against momentum. And you want to be very careful of that, because if the market sideswipes you, that's why you see such large drop opportunities. So let's keep an eye on this level at 108. Does not mean it's a trading opportunity. It simply just means from an education standpoint, I can show you guys what momentum trading looks like, right? So again, same example, 103 tested multiple times. We broke 102, we heading into that level, already tested multiple times, break. Now 108 already tested multiple times, most likely we break. Where exactly does Bitcoin end up falling? First level weekly 100, again second level 98.7 if we're looking for any sort of relief. But guys, I talked about this before. When do you know to look for long positions on Bitcoin again? When is it the time for Bitcoin to be looking for long positions? It's going to be above the EMAs. So until then, we're only looking for short. So look at Ethereum as of right now. This is absolutely disgusting. I'm going to go ahead and remove the lines here. Ethereum is in a massive bar formation as well. And this is a very disgusting bar, right? A very disgusting bar. Now, the reason why I'm not really shorting Ethereum as of right now is because the wick low is right here at around 23.27. If this structure ends up breaking, then the bar will play and will most likely head back down into around the $2,100 region. And that, of course, is a worst case scenario. But I do think we'll see a very nice wick opportunity. But it's same thing, right? Bitcoin ending up seeing a free fall, altcoins are seeing a free fall. And that's why this is what momentum trading looks like, is a current market structure. You don't want to be looking for buying opportunities until Bitcoin ends up holding support. Speaking about support, as you guys can see right now, we are currently testing it. There's the break on structure on Bitcoin. And this is where things get very dangerous, right? So if you're looking at it from this perspective, the next wick for Bitcoin in terms of fake out is 106. Most likely, if you're going to see a bounce, it's going to be there. If Bitcoin ends up breaking 106, you're going to see a free fall at exactly to 100 on the dot, because there's nothing holding Bitcoin from that level, right? There's absolutely nothing holding it. And a perfect example of this was Doge. Oh my God, Doge is at 16 cents. Are you serious? That is insane, guys. I sent the short here, and then we TP'd like from around here. And then, of course, wow, that's actually insane to me. That's crazy. There was the video I said bottom of moveset would be 0.168, and they literally completed bottom of moveset in like 4 hours. That's absolutely crazy. I gotta update that again. Oh, okay. Anyway, so Solana take profit hit, right? We shorted Solana, same thing. And again, I want to give you guys an educational standpoint. This is something that I've, learned throughout the years, and this is something you guys can utilize very well long term. So when you see Bitcoin stabilizing, and what I mean by that is you just see Bitcoin hovering. So like this morning, we were at 104.8, right? But you see altcoins like Dogecoin, Solana, everything pretty much seeing this rejection pattern. So across the board, all the altcoin charts pretty much look the same. But when you have this sideways action right here, right, and you see multiple rejections, you know that 9 out of 10 times it's going to lead into a break formation. So in your head, you can assume that I'm looking for shorting opportunities right now because everything looks really bad. In whale chat, and I'll show you guys later, but in whale chat, I even mentioned this earlier morning, and I said, look, everything looks really bad, right? People were like, hey, what are we looking for today? And I said, everything looks bad. Personally, I'm going to enter a short on Doge because I think the market, in terms of altcoins, is going to see a drop. As soon as I entered the short on Doge, I sent the message and we saw the bearish engulfing and the break. Because of the fact that every single altcoin chart looked exactly like this, right? Everything was going sideways. And of course, as soon as it continued to retest support, I knew that more than likely not, we're going to see a break. People right now are blaming Trump. They're saying, oh, well, Trump did this, Elon did this, and that's why we're dropping. Not necessarily, right? Because again, the charts were already bearish. Everything was already bearish. It was already set in stone. That was just a momentum. I obviously pushed the market to continue dropping, and now we're seeing the cascade effect. Everyone's going to be like, wow, thanks Trump, thanks Elon, blah, blah, blah. But realistically, this setup was there for quite a while now, right? In terms of Doge and altcoins, this setup was definitely there. Even Solana, I said, look, guys, Solana is looking for the 150 break. If we enter that, if we end up taking that trade, then the 146 is the main level. We end up breaking 146. Can we take a guess? Anyone want to take a guess where the next main level is? It's most likely going to be at 136, right? Why? Look, in terms of momentum, this is what the beauty of momentum. Right here, right? We've already tested this wick twice. Now this is the third test. If Bitcoin ends up losing 108 and it cascades, Solana ends up free falling as well, right? Everything ends up free falling with it. And that's why you are not looking for long positions as of right now. If you are taking long positions, you are simply looking for a quick gamble. In my opinion, I am not catching a falling knife. I will not catch a falling knife, mostly at the current state of the market, because of how much noise there is. If we end up losing these support levels, it does become extremely dangerous. And right now, Bitcoin is flashing the danger zone, right? We have already seen the peak at 112. We've already seen the EMA's retest as resistance. And guys, this is the biggest thing. Look at 2021's chart compared to right now. We are in a danger zone, a massive danger zone. Because look, if I were to show you guys side by side here, 2021's chart literally was the same bearish engulfing as soon as we broke below the exponential moving averages. Right here, we are in the same exact spot right here. 112 broke below, and we continue to use the EMAs as resistance. Could this mean that we are in a new bear market, right? That's why I'm being very cautious right now with looking for long swing positions. This is the same exact chart. Look at the same exact level. We peaked 69K, 112K. EMAs retested, resistance, bearish engulfing. That's why I'm being very cautious right now, looking for long positions on Bitcoin overall. But yeah, I hope that makes sense for you guys. So again, we're only looking for shorting opportunities, but where exactly is, of course, a lot of these altcoins going? So in my opinion, I think Doge 0.168 was the first level of take profit for a lot of swing traders. If we're going to see a bounce, it's going to be somewhere down here because, again, this is bottom of move set. Somehow, if Doge does, or rather Bitcoin does end up losing support, let's say a worst case scenario, we end up losing support, all we really have to do is pay attention to our wick lows. So 0.164 is the next level for Doge. If, of course, we end up losing 0.168, break structure of that, then we're looking for around 0.149. That is the worst case scenario, but yes, it can easily happen if Bitcoin does end up losing support. For Solana, we're looking at 136 as of right now. It's pretty much in a free fall state. Solana is looking for the retest right here again, 141. If we break that, already tested twice, third test, 136 is going to be the main level. Why? Well, pretty self-explanatory. Look at how many times this level is tested as resistance. Now, of course, this will be retested as support. So yeah, I hope that makes sense for you guys. It's pretty much where I'm looking for Solana for buying opportunities, at least at 136, but it's not looking too hot for altcoins in general. And again, everything is depending on Bitcoin. So if magically we can see Bitcoin, bounce off 108, which personally, I don't think this is the level we're going to bounce off because we've already tested it so many times. The market usually looks for a bounce in terms of a level that has not been tested in support in a while. So what level would that be? Most likely it'll be 100K because, again, you can see when we broke above this level, so this candle right here, we didn't see a retest of support. What does that mean? It simply means we broke above. We didn't retest the support on the way towards the upside. So if we're going to see a bounce, it's most likely going to be there. That's the level I would be paying attention to. But you can see right now, the bulls are struggling, right? We're right back. Look at this. We continue to see a free fall situation right back into 108 again. And that's why the chop is happening, yes, but right now momentum is downwards, right? We're pushing lower, and that's why you want to be very, very cautious looking for long positions here. If, of course, Bitcoin does end up breaking this, then 100K most likely does end up playing. So I hope that makes sense for everyone. Yeah, no, I don't think 96K common. I don't think 96K. I think 98.7 would be a big level. But again, anything is possible at this point. If, of course, this was truly the top for Bitcoin at 112, then I do think we go a lot lower. I think this is, it could, but to me, again, I'm not going to say it's top of Bitcoin because it doesn't really make sense for it to be the top of Bitcoin, only because Ethereum barely broke all-time high, right? But I do think, we're in a dangerous spot. I think in general, we're in a dangerous spot because we did not want to lose the 104.7. That was a big level that we should not have lost from a bullish case scenario. Now it's simply just being a bearish outcome in terms of momentum. That's all that's happening on the chart right now. It's not, oh my God, it's over capitulation, but what we're seeing right now is simply just levels respecting levels. We're seeing 103 tested, break, 102 tested, break, and now again 100.8 tested, and most likely we see a break down to 100 because these levels have already been tested before. So that's pretty much what you're looking for. And again, I'm not calling for bottoms or anything like that, only because nobody knows, right? Nobody knows when the bottom's going to be. But look, okay, guys, look. So right now, you see, look at the break. So there's a break. So from an education standpoint, does everyone understand what I was trying to explain? So again, when you're breaking, the reason why we're seeing these breaks and the momentum and we're not slowing down is because these levels were already tested before. So think of it like, pressure being pushed against a wall or something. The more times that wall is tested, then it ends up seeing a break structure. And that's literally what's happening right now, is just we're seeing a break structure over and over and over. And me personally, I'm not looking for a long position here. You might get lucky, right? There's people out there that say, oh, haha, you're an idiot, it bounced. You might get lucky in terms of a wick, right? So the wick might go up a grand or something. And then, of course, on the next candle, it just continues dropping. But I would personally not be trying to catch a long position here versus a short position, right? Because if the momentum is downwards with everything that's happening in the current market structure, I'm looking for shorts, right? I'm only looking for shorts. And there goes Ethereum. Ethereum is now leading the way in terms of this bearish trend. Look at that. Free fall on Ethereum down to 2402. Just broke the same structures again. Same wicks that were tested here at 2453 broke. Now again, we're testing another major wick right here, right at 2406. If we end up losing 2406, guess what? We had dropped down to 2300. If we end up losing 2300, same wick down to 2100. And guess where did that go? Bitcoin leads the way. If Bitcoin ends up losing support, everything is bearish. Everything right now is bearish. There's no special coin up here that's going to end up holding better than the rest. If you look at Cardano, if you look at XRP, every single coin in the altcoins market is getting absolutely decimated right now. And the reason why is because, again, Bitcoin continues to lose these levels of support. There we go for the 107 break. So most likely now, pay attention. We're most likely going to see a wick test of 106 just because we lost 108. Most likely we see a test of 106. If we're going to see a bounce, it'll be most likely there for these bots and scalpers or whatever to enter. If we end up losing this wick right here at 106, we see a free fall down to 100. So that's the level I'm going to be paying attention to today. Is going to be around the 100K. Does not mean that, okay, 100K, Pingu bottom. No. It simply means that we're going to wait for this level to be tested. Once we start seeing a consolidation, it does not mean we enter along. It simply means that this is going to be a possible bouncing area, right? We are still not looking for longs. Once again, we are not looking for longs at 100K. We are actually only looking for shorts as of right now. The market structure is simply in the short mode, and there it goes. So you guys see that live? We did this live. There's the break for Bitcoin, and now most likely it's going to hit this wick right here. Oh, there's the wick. So everyone paying attention, we're doing this live. Here's the wick, right? There's the wick, and now watch. It's either going to end up seeing a bounce because, again, all these algo bots and all these scalpers are going to be entering on this wick here. If it ends up breaking, then we see a drop down to 100 clean. But again, that is just an educational standpoint. I just want to show you guys how my mind works when I'm looking for trade updates, right? Like when I'm looking for stuff like this, people were like, oh, why didn't you long? Right? Why didn't we take the long at 108 if it was a major support, Pingu? Well, the reason why is because this wick right here tells you a story. The wick here tells you the fact that buyers were present at this level once. Then, of course, buyers were, oh, there it goes, right? There it is, ladies and gentlemen. That was live. You're seeing this. And that to me is like the point of why I do this. It's simply just education front. But that would explain to you guys how this works. Why these wicks are so damn important is because these wicks tell you a story. And the story is that buyers are getting absolutely destroyed right now. You can see that all the folks that entered at 108 right now are now underwater on their positions, right? Now they're going to end up seeing a liquidation wick, probably most likely to 100. And that's pretty much how momentum trading works, guys. And this is what I've been trying to teach you guys for a very long time, is follow the trend. If Bitcoin is free falling right now, are we really looking for long positions? No. The morons on YouTube are probably telling you to buy the dip, but I'm going to be that person to tell you not to buy the dip because, again, the same dip at 103, 102, and now 100 is going to be the same folks that are telling you at 98, oh, guys, buy the dip. The problem is when you buy the dip, and the market keeps dipping, you get more frustrated, right? You're better off waiting for proper confirmations and then look for your long positions. And that simply means is now we are going to be in the state of unfortunate sideways until we break back above the EMAs. And then you're going to see me say, okay, guys, longs only. We're only looking for longs, buys only. As of right now, we are only looking for short positions. And we did this live, right? You guys saw that break live. You guys saw the 108 level break live down to 104. And that's, again, the same reason why I am not looking for those positions. You are better off entering as a short for those scalp opportunities on these wick breaks and continue pushing. And again, the wicks tell you a story. At any point, when the live stream started, at any point, if you shorted any of these wicks on these breaks, you were profiting, because that's just how wicks work. The wick is the lowest point, right? So we trade the wick low, the lowest point on the chart. But all of these midterm levels, all these lines I have drawn, the reason I have them drawn are just based off wicks. That's just all I trade. As soon as I see one momentum wick break, I'm like, okay, boom, short. We ride the short down. The next momentum wick breaks, boom, we ride the short down. And then that's all it is. It's just simple free falling after that. Nobody knows when the bounce is going to happen, right? I can't sit here and tell you, okay, guys, 99.3 is going to be the bounce. Everyone long at that level. I'm not going to be that guy. Instead, I'm going to tell you this is what momentum trading looks like, and this is why we enter those shorts on momentum. As long as we are entering those shorts, you should profit along the way, regardless of where you entered. If you entered at 108, 102, whatever, right now you are in profit on these shorts, right? And that's it. It's just an educational standpoint. That's how I think, though, right? When I tell you guys, hey, guys, I'm thinking Dogecoin is going to end up seeing a break at 0.1855, is because in my head, I'm like, damn, Doge has already tested this level so many times. Why are the bulls not taking control? What does that mean? The EMAs have flipped to resistance. So if we're looking at a trade standpoint, pay attention. Number one, right? The EMAs have already been tested as resistance. Number two, this level has already been tested as support multiple times. Number three, we continue to fall right back down on support. I entered the short position here. I think I took it for like $1,000 or something profit. In whale chat, I literally, I had $1,000 in the account. I put the short in, I made $1,000, I doubled the account, and it was literally just a structured break. It was like a 5-minute trade, you guys saw, and it was 0.1855 down to 0.2179. Did I know that we were going to break 0.179? No, right? I didn't know that level structure was going to break on Doge, but I did know that this was a short, right? So as long as I got that right, I profited. Did anyone expect the level of 0.179 to break? No, but it did, right? The market doesn't care about your feelings. It broke. Then 0.172, market doesn't care about your feelings. It broke. And now 0.168 is being tested on a weekly support. Guess what? Market doesn't care about your feelings. If that breaks, the next level again is down here at 0.149. So that's pretty much how I trade. So does that make sense? Please tell me. Does that make sense? I tried to explain it as best as I could. Press 1 in the chat if that makes sense. I feel horrible right now. I was supposed to go get you guys gift cards, and I totally forgot. Just because there was so much going on. My fault. Okay, I'm still going to grab them later today for you guys, I promise. And then we'll do some giveaways. But does that make sense just from a trading perspective, excluding the giveaways? Like, I just want to make sure everyone understands this, right? Please press 1 if that makes sense in terms of wicks and the momentum trading. Does everyone understand now? Cool. Awesome. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. Yeah, okay, Morgan, my fault. That's totally on me. I had been saying this forever. Okay, yeah, I will make that video. Okay, I promise. I know I'm a horrible person for this because I keep saying I promise and I don't do it. It's just because, I'm one person. Guys, there's 2,500 of you. You guys gotta give me some slack here, right? I have to update charts. I have to make sure no one is long. And I also have to make sure that the trades are hitting the profits. I cannot do all of this as one person and then do videos on top and then do the mentorship stuff too. And again, the mentorship is free for people tuning in. I don't charge anything in this channel. Nothing is charged. But I'm one person, so all I ask is just, bear with me, guys. Really bear with me. I'm trying my best here. I just want to make sure that in times like this, I want to make sure that you guys are not blind, and I want to make sure none of you guys get liquidated, because my job at the end of the day is to make sure that me posting a trade is right. That's it. Because if I'm wrong, then I have 2,500 people that are depending on me, and they are also taking losses. I can't sleep at night knowing, I sent a shitty trade, That's why when I send a trade, I have to make sure that, hey, this is a good trade, this is a good setup, and these guys are going to make money. Like, for example, Doge and Solana today, or even Bitcoin today, those were good trades, right? I had to, and that's what I'm saying. The focus and the mentality that it takes for these sort of setups is a lot. It's very draining for one person. So sometimes if I don't message, it's just because I don't got anything. And I have to watch myself too, right? Because again, if I'm over trading for you guys and I'm also losing positions, and that's why we rarely see losses in the channel, is because I only send when I'm right. Like if I'm sure, then I'm like, good, like guys, go ahead. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. So again, the Telegram is absolutely free. I have linked in the channel for those of you that want to join. There's a free Telegram channel. Everything I post in there is, for you guys. Yeah. I wish I could short. I've been following you for the notification. You're very lucky to have something. Yeah, I appreciate that, Burns. You can short. I mean, again, Blowfin is the link is in the bio if you guys want to learn how to do leverage and trade with us. It is free. You can sign up and start shorting the market too. You don't have to lose all the time. It's funny to me because I laugh about this all the time. But like for example, like my troll position, like my meme coin portfolio, like I'll make like $5-6 grand a day off these trades. And then my portfolio in general is down like 40 grand. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's like a bandage, right? It's like, oh, I made 3 and I lost 30 overall. Like, it's just, it is what it is. But, you know, it makes me laugh. So anyways, yeah, Jamie, literally though. That's what I told Roberto this morning too. Like, you know, he was like, I don't know. I'm like, yo, look, at 104, you closed, you took the L. But hey, guess what? If you close now, you would have wished you closed at 104. Sometimes it's okay to eat the loss higher if you know the market's going to drop. And that is a prime example of why the whale chat exists. That is a prime example of why I respond to every single message of someone saying, hey, I'm caught in this position. What should I do? Is because my job is to say, okay, I'm going to be the realistic person at the end of the day and tell you cut your losses. I'm going to be the realistic person at the end of the day and tell you, yo, I think you're being greedy. Take the profits, right? In terms of Ethereum at 2468, just as an educational standpoint, and I know I'm sorry for the lines, it's like 100 of them, but remember at 2668, what did I say? We took the long position on Ethereum on the break at 2668. I said, yo, take the profits at 2668. We'll figure it out if we break. We didn't break. We ended up rejecting. But those people that didn't listen, they got liquidated, right? And that's the point, is the lines are there for a reason. It is your job, your responsibility to close your position and take your own profits. If you do not do that, then at the end of the day, it is on you. My job is to make sure that the lines are right. That is it. As long as the lines are right, then I know I'm leading the pack in a mentality. It's a pack mentality, right? We are killing the market. We have done a great job today. I'm sure a lot of you guys made money on Doge and Solana in general. Even Bitcoin, if you really wanted to short Bitcoin, you could have, right? And again, this goes to, at the end of the day, it's about over trading. For example, in the next minute, I'm going to log out, right? I'm done. I've updated the charts. I've done my job, and I'm going to wait till tonight for Asia hours. I'm going to update the chats again and see where we can go. This does not mean that we continue hunting trades. If you made money today, then live to see another day. Thank you guys for joining. Morgan, pretty much the main ones. I don't really trade a lot of the random Joe Schmoes, you know what I mean? But yeah, Dynamic, I do not, unfortunately. There's Forex brokers out there that I'm sure you can follow through and they do it, but yeah. All right, guys. Friends, you can message me. You can use a VPN. It's definitely worth it. Like I said, it's just the fees. The fees are so low, and the amount of money they give back to us, guys. I've said this so many times, and like there's so many articles about, you know, just in general about exchanges. But look, like at the end of the day, the reason why I like Blowfin specifically is because of the campaigns. Like I work like a dog for you guys to get you those campaigns. They're not for everyone, right? Blowfin's not just gonna keep spitting money out. Those campaigns are there for a reason. At the end of the day, if you use Blowfin, you trade normally, how you trade, you make your money. Every month, they will give you a fat USD deposit. And a lot of you guys have gone a lot, right? Some of you guys have gone 5 grand, some of you guys have gone 2 grand, whatever. At the end of the day, that's why, right? So it's just an extra layer. Again, if you're happy with Binance, you're happy with your exchange, cool, no problem. Do your thing. My job, I don't have the course, I don't sell anything, I don't have like, hey, join my VIP chat. I don't do that, right? And again, everything is free in this channel is because the point of the channel is I want to show you guys that, yo, you don't have to pay some guru to learn how to trade. You can learn it, and once you understand it, and once you find out your faults, you can make a lot of money in this market. Anyways, guys, peace out. Thank you so much for coming. 27 minutes, and I'm glad this session is recorded because this is going to be perfect for those that are wondering how wick breaks work. We did it live together. I'm going to let you guys do your thing. I will see you guys later. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And yeah, see you tonight. Bye.